Are you looking for the best smartwatch for women? In this video, we will look at some of the 4 best smartwatch for women on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2. Now here is a smartwatch that has something for everyone. It doesn't matter if you love fitness or just want to live your daily life smarter, the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 has got you covered. Unlike our previous entries, this watch has extensive fitness features, evident from its sporty look and feel. The Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 is a round smartwatch that comes in 2 sizes and 2 versions, capable of fitting both small and large wrists. Each version has 3 available colors, a total of 6 colors to choose from, including aqua black, pink gold, and just simply gold, if that's more your style. The 2 versions are differentiated by their connectivity. The cheaper version has the standard Bluetooth connection, while the more expensive one has the more advanced LTE connection. However, you can take solace that both versions feature a beautiful AMOLED display. Both options have the same design with a widescreen and barely noticeable black borders, which should provide you with an uninterrupted view of your smartwatch. The Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 has 2 buttons on the side and a bezel for quick access to apps and functions. Despite its sporty-looking exterior, this wearable smartwatch could be used for everything, not just working out. I can definitely see myself taking it to a fancy party or simply to work. But since we were discussing fitness features earlier, let's start with that. This is one of the best smartwatches by Samsung for both women and men. The Galaxy Watch Active 2 has all the necessary activity tracking features, and then some. You have your ECG monitor and your standard heart rate sensor and monitor, not to mention a breathing and running tracker. There are apps that track swimming and even rowing. Don't worry about getting it wet. With its 50 water resistance, you can dive into the water as much as you like. Depending on how much you use the device, the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2's battery life can last up to 2.5 days or 60 hours. This is better than many of the other batteries on this list. Besides serving as an excellent fitness and health tool, the Samsung smartwatch can also act as your own personal assistant. It has a translator app installed that may come in handy someday, and in-depth camera control. No, that doesn't mean that the watch has a camera, although it would be a pretty cool addition. It just means that you can control your smartphone's camera from the smartwatch. Of course, with a watch such as this that has everything, there are also mobile payments. You can send and receive calls without being near your phone, but that last part comes only with the more expensive LTE version. Although everything so far has been pretty awesome, there are some problems. For example, the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 has very few third-party apps available as of the writing of this article. And although each offered fitness tracker is quite admirable, if you are a fitness enthusiast, you may want to check some of our other entries for access to third-party apps better suited for your hardcore fitness needs. So is this the smartwatch for you? If you are a lady who loves exercising, maybe scroll down a bit. But suppose you're an everyday gal seeking a pretty decent smartwatch from a large and established brand that is also great for casual exercise, then yes, the Samsung Women's Galaxy Watch is a great option. But consider checking our other entries, who knows, maybe you will find something else that you like. At number 2. Fossil Gen 5 Juliana. The Fossil Gen 5 Juliana is quite the fashionable piece of technology, and it actually has 2 different versions that go for the same price. Buyers can choose from a detailed and stylish look as well as a more minimalistic option, but not as minimalistic as the Skagen Falster 3 of course. The design and casing on this smartwatch is a little bit unique as it feels and looks slimmer than most other watches on this list. The wristband is also quite interesting, as it utilizes magnets to lock and release. I've got to tell you, this is a lot easier to put on than most other straps. I will give them credit for that. The one gaping issue with this feminine Wear OS smartwatch, however, is its size. This is a big watch, so big in fact that most women and even some men won't be able to wear it comfortably throughout the day. It definitely does not fit on my wrist, I know that much. Other than its ill fit for slim wrists, the watch itself is actually designed quite well. It has a slight curve on its screen and bezel, which becomes more apparent depending on the version you choose. The dials to the side are also pleasant and nice to look at. They have a spring feel to them when pressed, and the middle crown can be used as a scroller. A fashionable, oversized design is not the only thing the Fossil Gen 5 Juliana has going for it. The smartwatch is also quite adept at tracking your workouts. With a damn good untethered GPS and a decent heart rate sensor, you can rest assured that your exercise statistics are in safe hands. The watch also has more extensive features, like sleep tracking and water resistance of 3 ATM, means you can take it in the shower with you. If the pre-installed fitness features are not exactly your style, the Fossil Gen 5 Juliana has Google Play support, so you can download whatever the initial apps are lacking. Except water resistance, you can't download more water resistance, sadly. The Fossil Gen 5 Juliana also has a plethora of other apps and sensors, including some pretty decent activity trackers. If you go for a hike somewhere in the mountains, you won't have to worry about getting lost since the watch has a pre-installed compass, and if you are a nerd like me, there is also the option of a gyroscope. While we are on the topic of hiking, why not try the watch's altimeter, and if you are feeling frisky, check out the accelerometer. Receiving phone calls and sending messages are also quite nice capabilities to have, but you can reply to texts with your voice or the touchscreen only if you are an Android user. Sorry iPhone users, you guys are limited to only viewing the messages. As for contactless payments? Well, there is Google Pay, of course, for both Apple and Android. Not to mention Google Assistant for all your questions, no matter what they are. The always-on AMOLED display is also quite a nice addition. But what this watch has that others might lack is the ability to control your smart home devices. Say you're coming home from work on one particularly cold winter night. Well, before you arrive, you can turn up the heating from your smartwatch and warm up as you enter your cozy little apartment. But what is a smartwatch without its battery? Well, the Fossil Gen 5 Juliana honestly has a pretty average one. The battery life will last for around a day, unless you use one of the main saving options, which a lot of watches seem to have nowadays. Not to worry, if that's not your thing, this smartwatch charges pretty fast, reaching 80% in just 50 minutes with its magnetic charger. Well, this is a pretty nice watch. What do you think? This watch has some pretty interesting and unique sensors. If you are really into hiking or even traveling, I would definitely recommend it. At number 3. Michael Kors Access Gen 4 Sophy. The Michael Kors Access Gen 4 Sophy does not try to do anything too extravagant, and that's what I like about it. Don't get me wrong, the watch is quite elegant and does have the option of embroidered diamonds on the rim of the bezel. After all, this is still Michael Kors. This elegant Wear OS watch is also quite the reasonable size, not too small, not too big. It will fit on most wrists. With a slim frame topped with stainless steel, this smartwatch is suitable to wear no matter where you go, be it in the gym or the office. It will fit perfectly in every environment and with every outfit, due to its classic design, which resembles more a traditional watch than anything else. The smartwatch has a variety of colors and a beautiful watch face. However, the one thing that truly makes this watch shine is actually the company behind it. On release, the Michael Kors Access Gen 4 Sophy was missing quite a lot of features, but the company listened to all the criticisms and updated the smartwatch accordingly. Although the Michael Kors Access Gen 4 Sophy may not look like your typical sports watch, it does have some pretty good features. You can take advantage of Google Fit and Move Minutes, as well as heart points, which are easily accessible and can be adapted to meet your goals. With the built-in untethered GPS, you can track your movement even if you leave your phone behind, and its extraordinary optical heart rate monitor means you have even more workout statistics to analyze. But I will let you discover those on your own. If for some reason you can't get a GPS signal, which does happen at times, you can use the watch's accelerometer to track your movement. The Michael Kors Access Gen 4 Sophy also has a water resistance of up to 30 meters. So you can go for a quick swim, but again, I would still not recommend diving into the Marianas Trench. With all that being said, this watch does activity tracking really well, but it is not meant for fitness enthusiasts. Instead, it caters to those who are seeking to simply stay in shape or to engage in more casual workout routines. So keep that in mind when considering whether or not you should get this smartwatch. Apart from fitness tracking, this watch also has Google Pay, Google Assistant, and Google Play, among all the other pre-installed apps that come with a Wear OS device. The NFC payment system is easily accessible from the home screen and works seamlessly. Other apps, however, may not work as well. The watch is not the fastest out there, and if you get too many notifications at once, the Michael Kors Access Gen 4 Sophy has a tendency to freeze up a bit. But don't let that discourage you, since you can turn most notifications off if you prefer. The smartwatch also has Google Assistant, and you can receive as well as send calls and texts. But where the Gen 4 Sophy really shines is with its custom features. This watch really has that Michael Kors flair to it after all. There are numerous customizable watch faces, including animated ones. You can even set a photo from your Facebook or Instagram as a face. Not to mention that you can set the watch face to change with night and day, as well as set a countdown to a big event on the front, be it a birthday, Christmas, for which I personally can't wait because yes, I am a Christmas fanatic, or even custom events of your choice. These may be little additions, but it's the small things that make a device truly great. So, is the Michael Kors Access Gen 4 Sophy worth buying? Well, with all the customizable watch faces and Wear OS apps as well as above-average fitness features like its heart rate monitor, I would say yes. Although it might not have been worth it on release, since it was missing some key elements, it's definitely worth it now if you are looking for a customizable style mixed in with good apps for the casual fitness enthusiast. At number 4. Garmin vívomove 3. Last but definitely not least, we have the Garmin vívomove 3. This device has a unique design. It combines the classical look of its ancestors, aka analog watches, with the more modern and minimalistic feel of smartwatches. It comes in a few size options, from very small, smaller even than the Fossil Women's Gen 4 venture, to medium and large. The feminine smartwatch also has a plethora of colors and color combinations to choose from. There are too many to list, but my favorite ones are the monochromatic versions, where the body, straps, and face are all the same with maybe slight changes in shade for depth. What's more, the watch has no additional dials on the side, which only adds to its slick and elegant look. The minimalist edge is further expanded upon with the ability to show and hide smart features on the home screen. You can have a more detail-oriented smart face if you would like, or you can simply hide those features so the device looks like an analog watch at first glance. It's worth mentioning, too, that the Garmin vívomove 3 is really light and sits very comfortably, and best of all, it can fit a small wrist. Its fashionable and minimalistic design will go with anything, whether sweatpants or a lavish dress. The light and comfortable design also means that the small smartwatch is also perfect for working out. It has a large variety of trackers, including a heart rate sensor. All of which work perfectly fine and have a really slick design to them, really the best looking fitness features I have seen in a smartwatch. However, there is a slight issue despite all of these impressive characteristics, and it's the fact that the Garmin vívomove 3 does not have its own GPS, so you will need to bring your smartphone with you if you decide to go for a run. Among all the fitness trackers, there are some useful ones like the hydration tracker, which I desperately need in my life. But the one feature that will most likely convince you to buy this watch is its unique women's health tracker, which gives you the ability to follow your menstrual cycle or pregnancy. Not only that, you will also receive nutritional advice for those periods, no pun intended, as well as the ability to log symptoms and view past details. The Garmin vívomove 3 is really womankind's best friend. If you are still not convinced to get this watch, for whatever reason, there is also stress tracking, so you can find out if you are having a calm or an emotionally exhausting day. I know you don't need a smart device to know that, but it does help when your watch reminds you to take a break and a deep breath before returning to whatever you were doing. While on the topic of stress and exhaustion, the Garmin vívomove 3 will give you information on your energy levels throughout the day with its body battery application, so you will be able to find the perfect times to rest and exercise. Tired of all the trackers? Well, too bad. Because guess what, we have an advanced sleep monitor as well. The feature will give you an in-depth look at your sleep cycle, including the light, deep, and REM stages as well as pulse ox 3. Whoa, that's a lot of features, but we are not done yet, because the Garmin vívomove 3 still has more to offer. While the smartwatch does not have the ability to send or receive calls, you can send and receive messages. You can also use Garmin Pay as your wallet. The watch also has a calendar, of course, as well as a stopwatch and timer. All pretty standard, but what I did not mention before is that all of this is displayed on one screen, the analog screen. No swiping between apps and tabs, the Garmin VivoMove 3 is an all-in-one smartwatch. If the question is where you should buy it or not, then it's a strong yes. It is one of the best smartwatches for small wrists, and for that matter, bigger wrists as well. The health features are so unique and necessary that you don't know what you are missing until you actually try them, not to mention that I have not seen them on any other Android smartwatch for women. If by any chance you are a man reading this, then trust me dudes, guys, brothers. If you get this as a present for your woman, she will definitely be over the moon with all the unique features available.